Today's video is all about chicken. And we cook chicken more than anything around here. So I wanted to take a look back and share some of our favorites. Hey y'all, I'm Valerie and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm sharing 6 of the best chicken recipes that my family always goes crazy over. Okay y'all, let's get started. This one is a poppy seed chicken noodle casserole. To begin, I'm boiling up 12 ounces of egg noodles according to the package directions. You'll want to cook them to al dente because they will continue to cook in the oven. When they're done, you're going to remove them from the heat, drain them, and head over to the counter. I'm going to go ahead and make the topping. I've got 4 tablespoons of melted butter in a bowl here. To that, I'm adding 1 sleeve of crushed Ritz crackers. You're just going to give that a little mix until those crackers are completely covered in that butter. And you're going to need a large bowl to mix this in because I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot. I added in 4 cups of cooked shredded chicken, along with 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. If you'd rather use the unsalted, they make that as well. I haven't found it at Walmart yet, but I have found it at Ingles, and they sell it on Amazon. You'll just search up Campbell's unsalted cream of chicken soup. Now we're going to add in 16 ounces of sour cream. And just in case you're wondering why I'm adding 2 containers in, those are both small 8-ounce containers. Now for the seasonings, I'm doing half a teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of poppy seeds. Now you're going to mix this all together until it's well combined. After you get that all mixed together, you're going to add in those cooked and drained noodles. Now just toss this around until those noodles are covered in that creamy chicken mixture. And you can tell it's a lot here, that's why I said make sure you use a large bowl. I've got my casserole dish. It's a 9 by 13. Now you can go ahead and pour everything in. By the way, if you're new, I would really love to have you here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you get notified of all my future videos. After you get that all spread out, we're going to sprinkle over that Ritz cracker butter topping that we made earlier. Now this goes into the oven to bake at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes or until it's completely heated through. This was absolutely delicious. I love me a good chicken casserole, and this one is one of my new favorites. You could also do the cream of celery in this, that would be really good. Add in some frozen mixed vegetables, or even some broccoli would be good in this. I served it with some green beans, and this was a delicious, easy weeknight dinner. This Tuscan chicken orzo was amazing. You're going to need a 9 by 13 baking dish for this. Now the recipe called for 2 cups of uncooked orzo, but I used this whole 1-pound box here and it turned out just fine. It was just a little over 2 cups. You're also going to add in a couple cups of spinach, and I did try to pick some of those stems out. Now I'm adding about 3.5 cups of shredded rotisserie chicken. I've got an 8-ounce jar of sun-dried tomatoes and I'm adding the whole jar. And don't even bother draining them, just add the whole jar. Then we're going to add in about a cupful of shredded Parmesan cheese. And we're going to season this with about 1/4 teaspoon each of salt and pepper and half a tablespoon of garlic powder. Oh, and 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Now I'm adding 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. along with about a half a cup of heavy cream. Then we're going to drizzle over about 3.5 cups of a low sodium chicken broth. And I know it seems like a lot of liquid, but that orzo is uncooked, so we do need all that liquid. Now we're going to toss this around and just kind of stir it and mix everything together. Now this is going into the oven to bake at 425 for about 40 minutes. And the recipe did say to do this uncovered, but about halfway through, I just felt like I needed to put some foil on here. So after it had baked for 40 minutes, I removed the foil and gave it a really good stir. Now, if you want to top this with a little mozzarella cheese and put it back in the oven until that cheese melts, you can, but I think it's perfect like this. And y'all, we could not believe how good this turned out. It was incredibly delicious. It was packed full of flavor from the sun-dried tomatoes, that rotisserie chicken, and all the seasonings. It was so good. And you know, I definitely need to be cooking with orzo more often. This Caesar pasta salad is one of my new absolute favorites. I started out by taking 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts and cutting them in half horizontally to make 4 thin pieces. Then I seasoned them up with garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and whatever else I could grab. And while those were frying up in the pan, I cooked up 12 ounces of rotini pasta according to the directions on the back of the box. I let that chicken cook for about 4 or 5 minutes on each side until it was cooked through. Then I removed it from the heat, chopped it up into bite-sized pieces, and set it aside. Over to the counter, in a large bowl, I added that 12 ounces of cooked and drained pasta. You could also use penne or any other kind of medium pasta. I also added in that cooked and chopped chicken. Go ahead and season this to taste with some salt and pepper. I also added in a little of the Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning. You definitely don't want to skip out on this. Now you're going to add in about half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. And if you love Parmesan cheese, go ahead and add you in a little more. Next, I added in 6 slices of cooked chopped bacon. Now the recipe called for a homemade Caesar dressing. If you want that recipe, you'll find it linked in the description box below. But I wanted to make this easy, so I just grabbed some store-bought Caesar dressing, and you'll just want to add in however much you like here. I ended up doing almost the whole bottle. But you could start out by only adding half and then add more as you need it. Better to not add enough than to add too much to start with. Now you're going to toss this together until it's well combined. Now to finish it off, I added in about 1.5 cups of garlic and butter flavored croutons. And I did kind of crush half of those up a little bit there, just so it wasn't all big chunks. The recipe called for 6 cups of chopped romaine lettuce. I chopped up 6 cups, but I ended up not adding it all. I only did about 4 cups worth, so you add what you feel like you want to add. Then toss this around, and you can serve it right away or you can chill it. But remember, if you chill it, I would wait to add the croutons and the romaine lettuce until right before you serve it. And I garnished this with some Parmesan cheese and lemon wedges. I gave this like a 20 out of 10. I loved it. And y'all, I take any shortcuts I can, which is why I use the store-bought Caesar dressing. But feel free to make your own homemade. I'm sure that'll make it even better. I seriously can't say enough about this recipe. That seasoned chicken and those croutons took it to a whole new level. This Salsa Verde Mexican chicken casserole is definitely one you have to try. To get started, in a large skillet, I added about a tablespoon of oil along with half a diced onion. I sauteed that and let the onion cook down for a few minutes until it was nice and tender. When that was done, I added 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Then I stirred that around and let it cook for about 30 seconds or so until that garlic became fragrant. Now for the chicken, you can add anywhere from 3 to 4 cups, just depending on what you think your family will need. And for the seasonings, I did half a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of cumin. I stirred that around, and then you can go ahead and remove that from the heat, and we can head over to the counter with it. Okay, I'm going to make up a creamy mixture to add to this casserole. I'm just using a large measuring cup to mix this in. You're going to add in 1 cup of sour cream. I'm also adding 2 of the 7-ounce cans of Salsa Verde, or you can add a 15-ounce jar. I just had these 2 cans on hand and they worked out just fine. Next, you're going to add in 1 15-ounce can of green enchilada sauce. Now give this a really good mix until it's well combined. Alright, now it's time to put everything together. I'm making this in a 9x13 baking dish. You'll need about 18 of the small corn tortillas, or you could even use the flour tortillas if you prefer. Now to the bottom of that dish, I poured a little bit of that creamy salsa verde mixture that we made up, just enough to thinly cover the bottom of that dish. Then on top of that, you're going to lay down 6 of those small tortillas. Now, over the top of those, you're going to sprinkle half of that chicken mixture. And just try to spread that out where it's in there kind of evenly. And I'm telling you, it does not have to be perfect. Next, you're going to pour 1/3 of that creamy mixture and do the same with this. Pour it kind of evenly. And it doesn't have to be completely spread out. It'll kind of spread out as it bakes in the oven. Then you're going to sprinkle over about 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Now we're going to repeat that whole process. You're going to do another layer of corn tortillas or flour. You're going to do the other half of that chicken mixture, then 1/3 of that creamy sauce mixture, and then another cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And we have one final layer, but for this one, you're going to do the last layer of corn tortillas, the rest of that creamy sauce mixture, and then anywhere from 1 to 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And I did a little less than 1 cup, and I decided I needed to add more, so I added more. So this is me telling you, you add what you think your family is gonna love. And there ain't many people out there that's gonna be mad about a little extra cheddar cheese. You're gonna bake this casserole at 350, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes until that cheese is bubbly and melted and the top is a little golden brown. This was so good. It was so much better than we had even imagined it would be. It's definitely a new favorite, and I kept it simple and served it alongside some Spanish rice. But you could do some corn on the side or even some refried beans. And I'm telling you, this casserole was packed full of flavor. It was kind of like a little Mexican chicken lasagna, and my family loved it. This crack Rice-A-Roni chicken casserole was a new one for us, and I'll definitely be making it again. To get started, I've got a 6.4 ounce box of the creamy 4-cheese Rice-A-Roni, and I'm just going to cook that up according to the directions on the back of the box. I added a couple tablespoons of butter along with that rice, and I set that seasoning packet to the side. We'll use it here in a little bit. You're just going to saute that rice until it starts to turn golden brown. Now you can go ahead and add in that seasoning packet, along with 2.5 cups of water. I gave that a little stir. Then you're going to bring this mixture to a boil. Then drop it down to a simmer, cover it, and let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes until that rice is tender and all of that liquid is absorbed, or most of the liquid is absorbed. When that's done, you can go ahead and remove it from the heat and we're going to head over to the counter with it. I've got a large bowl here to mix it all up in. I went ahead and added in that prepared Rice-A-Roni. Next, you're going to add in about 4 cups of shredded or chopped chicken. Or if you're using a rotisserie chicken, 1 should give you enough chicken for this. You're also going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup. And I did want to show you here, Campbell's does make an unsalted cream of chicken soup. I found this at Ingles, but you could also order it on Amazon. I'm adding 1 1/4 cup of sour cream. I just did a heaping cupful. Oh, and by the way, I always have the recipes either linked or typed out in the description box below. Okay, and after you get that sour cream in there, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning mix, followed by 3/4 cup of cooked chopped bacon. And if you want, you can take the easy way out, like I did, and use the real bacon pieces. I also added 1 1/2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Now you're going to mix this together until it's well combined. I'm making this in a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. I should have probably sprayed it with some non-stick spray, but it looks like I forgot. Oh well. Then you're just going to go ahead and add in that chicken mixture. Now just spread that out evenly, and then we're going to add a topping. Now for the topping, I'm going to add on an entire 6-ounce bag of French fried onions. If you don't like French fried onions though, you could also do crushed Ritz crackers with a little bit of butter, just whatever you think your family would like. Now this casserole goes into the oven uncovered to bake at 350 for about 30 minutes. You'll know it's done when that top starts to get golden brown. I think I left mine in a little longer than 30 minutes and I let my top get a little too brown, but it was still delicious. I kept it simple and served it alongside some sweet peas. This was an easy weeknight meal, but it would also be really good to make to take to a church potluck or anywhere you have to bring a dish. We really enjoyed it, and this casserole was full of flavor. These hot chicken salad sliders were so good. I've got a large bowl here. I'm adding in 2 cups of cooked shredded chicken. But if you wanted to use rotisserie chicken, I'm sure that would be even better. I also chopped up about 2 stalks of celery and added that in. And if you're not a fan of celery, you can totally leave that out. You're also going to add 3/4 cup of mayonnaise and some salt and pepper to taste. Now add in about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Then I just went ahead and gave it a quick little stir just to make sure I got everything combined before I added in the cheese. Now the recipe called for 8 slices of cheddar cheese, so after you spread the chicken salad on the bottom of the Hawaiian rolls, you would just lay the slices of cheddar cheese on top. But since I didn't have that, I just used about 1 cup of shredded cheese, and I just went ahead and mixed it on into the chicken salad. And if you don't like cheese, you can leave it out altogether and it'll still be really good. But I say you just gotta give it a try with the cheese. I've got a pack of Hawaiian rolls here. I cut them in half horizontally and then just laid them down in a 9 by 13 baking dish. You can also line the bottom of that dish with foil, that way it'll be a little bit easier to clean it up. Now you're just going to take that chicken salad mixture and spread it evenly across the bottom half of those rolls. And this did make a lot of chicken salad, maybe a little bit more than what the rolls really needed, but I went ahead and added it all. I probably could have held back enough to have me a chicken salad sandwich for the next day. If you're using the sliced cheese, this is the time where you would lay that on. And I couldn't resist sprinkling on about a 1/2 cup more of shredded cheddar cheese here. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. It just lets me know you want to see more videos like this. Okay, I topped that chicken salad with the top half of those Hawaiian rolls. Now we're going to make a glaze to brush over the top. You can push those rolls aside. In a large measuring cup, I've got 1 stick of melted butter. And to that, I added 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and about 1.5 teaspoons of sesame seeds. Now stir that and let that brown sugar dissolve just a little bit. Then you're going to grab those rolls and spread that mixture evenly over the top. If you have a little silicone brush, you can use that, but I ended up just drizzling it over the top. And while I'm thinking about it, I want to give a shout out to Crystal and her baby dog Bobo. She said Bobo loves watching my videos. I love dogs, so I just thought that was too cute. Okay, and about that glaze, if you wanted to, it was a lot of glaze. So if you wanted to, you could cut the butter in half actually. I sprinkled them with a few more sesame seeds, then put it in the oven to bake at 350 for 20 to 30 minutes. And I probably left them in a little longer than I should have, but they were still delicious. If you feel like they're getting brown a little too fast, you can always lay a piece of foil over the top. I'm not gonna lie, these were a little messy, but they were so good. You could make these to take to a church get-together or a summer party. You could also make them to have for lunch or even dinner. And if you have a favorite chicken salad recipe, you could always use that to make these. But I'll definitely be making these again. I really hope you enjoyed this video. You may also like these. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more easy recipes, and I will see you in the next one.